Hey everybody, the Plumbing Gurus, Clayton here on the on-site edition. Thanks a lot for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be going through a rough-in that we did. Last video we did that we showed you, we were about halfway done. So now we've finished it off today. So what we did is we finished off the groundworks. We had an inspection earlier on today, and inspection passed with flying colors like it should. And then we ended up pouring the concrete today. I'll start with the concrete and I'll work my way up. So here we have the floor drain for the laundry. Now this is an emergency floor drain. So we'll have to put a trap seal in there because it won't be seeing any water. So a trap seal just, what it does is only allows water to drop down and it prevents all the sewer gases from coming up because that P-trap won't be full of water. If it does stink or whatever, we just tell people pour some water down to fill up the trap. If the trap seal is not working properly, or we just replace the trap seal. Usually a trap seal works fine. And then over here, watch your step because we have fresh concrete that we just poured, just finished about an hour ago. We have the clean out here. This is a clean out access. So this here, the top of the clean out will be flush with the finish of the flooring, which is going to be tile. The floor drain here, we set it, what was it, about a quarter-inch lower?
The floor drain, yeah, like the clean out is 5/8 above like concrete.
The concrete.
And then I think I'm about an eighth lower, just so that water actually flows down into the floor drain.
Right, yeah.
So we're about half an inch above concrete with the floor drain.
With the floor drain. And we'll probably end up putting a trap seal in this one as well because more than likely it won't see any water. And if you don't put any water down the trap, you'll obviously get those sewer gases coming up, so we'll keep that sealed. And here we have the toilet sticking up through the floor. Now this is going to be the height of the finished floor. No, I'm just kidding. Once the concrete here, once it's settled, we'll come back in a couple days. We got to come back anyways, but we'll cut that 4-inch flush with the concrete there, and then we'll glue our flange right down flush with the concrete, and then the tile will sit flush with the top of this flange, or a little bit higher. A little bit higher is okay. You can build up your wax, get a thicker wax seal. And I think that's about it for the flooring here. We already showed you, oh, this wasn't in before, so we tied our 3-inch stack comes up through the floor here, right inside this wall, and they left us a nice 2x6 wall, which is nice, and that just ran back up, and Kirsten tied that into there. Because it's just a single level, we do not need an expansion joint. So if this was going through another story, we would need an expansion joint. So, and then here we have a sink here. This water line got a little turned, probably somebody hit it. We got a sink here, so this is a barrier-free sink, also known as a handicap sink. So what we do is we know the center of the sink is going to be roughly somewhere here. So we'll offset our pipe coming out of the wall, and then we'll put our P-trap here. And then that's why our water lines are so far apart here, so that our P-trap will come up here, and then we've got room for, essentially for the drainage, so the water lines aren't in the way. I did do a sink once, and I was newer to doing barrier-free sinks, and I had the water lines right tight, and I ended up screwing myself over because my drain ran, my offset of my P-trap ran right up into my water line, so it was kind of a pain to fix. Over here we just have our toilet water line. We go anywhere from 7 to 10 inches over. Usually standard is about 9 inches, 8 to 9 inches. In this, we know this is going to be a commercial building. Sorry, it is a commercial building. It's a barrier-free building. So sometimes what they'll do is they'll put that 5.5-inch, what's that called, Kirsten? The bottom?
Like baseboard?
Like a baseboard, or they'll do
like a waterproof baseboard.
Yeah, they'll do that waterproofing baseboard. And that's about 5.5 inches. So I'll bring my water line up about 7-8 inches so that my escutcheon plate won't interfere with that, and you got to cut your escutcheon plate or it's on there and it sticks out, it looks ugly. So so we'll keep that nice and high so that's out of the way. Our water lines here, pretty basic. I think I went through the water lines already with you guys last time. Yeah, and here we hooked up a laundry box, as you can see here. So the minimum or not the minimum. The distance that this should be to the floor is 34 inches. Is that right?
34 to the bottom of the
34
box.
to the bottom of the box here. Minimum standpipe is 24 inches. So we've got our minimum here. So this just runs over and drops down to here, which this from here now, from this, as soon as it hits this T here, this is the wet vent portion of the drain, because this is wet venting this emergency floor drain here, because this runs over, drops down past 3 inches. So that's the maximum that you can drop this 3-inch pipe. So it actually drops down probably about 5 inches. So right there, we're creating an S-trap with this P-trap, but we've prevented that S-trap because this drain here is wet venting this P-trap. So now we are up to date with our code. On this side here, this runs, this tees over, and this is just gonna have like a small little laundry sink they're gonna have here. So yeah, that was pretty simple. Water lines, we just like to bring them up about 22 inches above the drain. That way you don't have to use super long extensions, or sometimes you get the, the taps with the hoses that are attached already. So the sink is roughly about this height, we'll say, and those hoses will usually drop down to here. So you don't want to have your water lines down here because it sucks if you're like a little too short. Then you got to run PEX up with a valve, or you got to get extensions for your 3/8 compression for your at finish stage. So.
He said 22 inches above the drain. He meant 22 inches from the...
Did I say above the drain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 inches from the concrete. 22 around there. And
22 to, yeah, from the floor, sorry, from the floor to
our
here.
drain, we usually do it like 15 or 16 for like laundry and kitchen sinks.
Yeah, yeah. If it's, if it's just like a laundry sink, this is going to be built into a cabinet with a kind of a deeper sink on the bottom. If it's one of those laundry sinks where you buy from like Costco, we'll set that like low, like 12, 10 inches down, because the base, those are really deep, and you'd rather be a little lower because you better be looking at the space than looking for the space when it comes to the drainage. That's an inside joke we have.
You know what they say.
You know what they say, better be looking at it than looking for it. So we just ran a vent over, ran that down, tied it in. Nothing too special about that. And this job is done for us. We just need to come back to cut that floor flange down, which we will be doing. We got to disconnect 2 radiant heaters in here. We can actually show you where those are. So there's one there.
Their T-bar ceiling is going to sit higher than the bottom of that, so they want to take it out. So we got to, shut the valves off and just cap them off.
Yeah, these can be capped because these are just branches off the supply returns. So, and we've did some research. We found there's a high possibility that insulation might be asbestos. So as soon as we hit that, we don't touch any of that stuff. He's got somebody else coming in here to take care of that for us. And the other heater is over here. This heater here is a little bit tricky because this heater is a part of a loop. So we have to tie the supply and the return. Those 2 there. That one runs from the valve through the heater, and then it runs back. That's the supply and return. This is not an ideal way to run your heating system. They should have just had this supply return tie in here together and extended it with branches off the supply return. That's my opinion. If you guys got a better way of running that, or if you understand how this works, let me know. I've only done one big system in a commercial building, so I'm not well experienced in this, but the systems are pretty basic to residential. It's just on a bigger scale. So, but yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys got any questions or comments, let me know. And like I said, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Don't forget, smash that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.